Moi, je fais cette petite vidéo pour essayer de vous remonter le moral. C'est quand même une dinguerie, tu vois. Mon monsieur. Prends ensuite tous les cheveux qui restent sur le côté droit. La techno a une culture à part entière. On est attaché à la bagnole. On aime la bagnole. Et moi, je l'adore. Et tu voudrais qu'elle soit en haine ce soir. De luxe, n'hésite pas à t'abonner pour plus de vidéos. Bisous, mes petits loups.
Bien joué. C'est assez bien fait, ça m'a plutôt fait rire. Mais plus sérieusement, avec l'intelligence artificielle, on peut faire de très grandes choses. Changer la santé, l'énergie, la vie dans notre société. Et donc la France et l'Europe doivent être au cœur de cette révolution pour saisir toutes leurs chances et pour pousser aussi les principes qui sont les nôtres, ce en quoi nous croyons. C'est le but de ce sommet pour l'action sur l'intelligence artificielle. C'est dès demain à Paris. Alors je compte sur vous. Ok, là c'est bien moi.
To talk more about this, we can bring in France 24's French politics editor, Marc Perelman. Marc, great to see you. You were watching the video there along with me. It seems that Emmanuel Macron is having a little fun at himself, but also using this AI summit to be relevant again? What's it for?
Well, people kind of forgot about Emmanuel Macron during the last weeks because he was essentially nowhere to be seen in France because you had those very long, complicated, controversial discussions over the budget. You had one Prime Minister, Michel Barnier, being ousted in a no-confidence motion. His successor, François Bayrou, trying to cobble together a majority. He managed to pass the budget. And in the meantime, Emmanuel Macron was not doing much. And so this AI summit is a godsend for him. Of course, it has been planned a long time ago, but he couldn't imagine that he would be so much behind the scenes. Now it allows him to be on the scene. He gave an interview yesterday to French and Indian media together. He's gathering heads of state. This is more what he traditionally does. And in addition, he's always been known as a tech president, someone who was very much in favor of new technologies, bringing in foreign investment to France, and the fact that he's announcing that over 100 billion would be invested in AI in France. We'll have to figure out the details.
Yeah.
Obviously, because those announcements not always materialize, obviously. But nevertheless, he hopes that it will help him bring back himself in front of the scene, but also try to talk more about a positive future rather than the dull discussions about the budget, the possible trade war with the U.S. and so on. So he's hoping that it will give him a bit of a breather, and because the polls are also showing that he has never been as unpopular as he currently is.
Because you said he has a rough couple of months he's had, but also he's looking to this summer where he could potentially do it all over again, essentially, with dissolving the parliament.
Yes, it's true that in the constitution you can only call for a snap election, and during the following year you cannot do so. He did so. He pulled the trigger. He now acknowledged that it was a big mistake to say he didn't use those words, but clearly he admitted that it didn't have the results he was expecting.
Yeah.
But he can do so again come next July. Will he roll the dice again? A lot will depend on the performance of the Prime Minister. François Bayrou is an old ally of his. If he is able to maintain his position, be able to push through Parliament several reforms, maybe Emmanuel Macron could decide, well, at least he can do the job. We cannot allow ourselves the luxury with the debt, the deficit, the tensions with the U.S. and so on, to have a new roll of the dice. But he could decide that there's no stable majority, that he prefers the French to decide. But obviously, if he loses this election, because the one from last year, he didn't win it, but he didn't totally lose it because there was no alternative majority. The risk now would be that if he loses it, he could really have a prime minister from the opposition, let's say from the far right, or from a potential leftist coalition. So this would seem a lot of a gamble. What he can hope for is that there will be a more stable government and that the people might like to see him act on the foreign stage or being the commander-in-chief like the constitution enabled him to be.
We'll see how this summit pans out first, as he, as you said, returns to the world stage in a way. Thank you very much for that, Marc Perelman there.